Rosamund Pike is usually good, but most of the time not great. I like her, but I couldn't even tell you a movie where she really impressed me. I mean, I went through her IMDb and I've seen 12 of her movies, and none of them I remember because of her performance. But in this one, she impressed me. This is her at her best. She embodies the main character. And it's based on a real-life war correspondent who they also show in this. So you can directly compare the two, and she nailed it. It's an interesting character too, a woman who struggles with some demons. And a lot of it has to do with her job. As I said, she's a war correspondent. Which means she goes to war zones around the world and writes stories for newspapers. And to me that's always been an insane profession to pick. Like, you've got to have some sort of death wish to do that. Because not only do you have to witness some horrific things, it's also extremely dangerous. And that's gotta take a toll on you, mentally. It can't be easy to deal with that. And if this story is anything to go by, it definitely isn't. Because yeah, she struggles. She's got some demons. We also get to see the progression of her character throughout the years. The movie basically starts in 2001, when she goes to Sri Lanka. And then we get to follow her journey for the next decade. She goes to places like Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, eventually Syria. All places where unimaginable horrors take place. And she's there to document it. Now, as I said, Rosamund Pike is fantastic in this. She knocked it out of the park. And from a technical perspective, it's a very well made movie. I honestly can't point to any major issues with it. Any concrete, obvious weak points. There's nothing really wrong with it. But there is something wrong with it. I'm just not sure what. Or maybe it's me. But apart from a few impactful scenes, I had some serious troubles connecting with it. Getting immersed in the story. But that might also be the way the story is structured and built up, because there's not really any solid through line or plot here, other than the main character's slowly deteriorating mental state, and her internal struggles to cope with what she's witnessed. In that way it's really more of a character study than anything, but I don't think it went deep enough. So it sort of sits on the fence, one part character study, one part war movie. But I don't think it committed enough to either one. It ended up feeling a bit hollow. Like, I don't know what I was supposed to get out of it. Not really. And if Rosamund Pike wouldn't have been as good as she was, I would have probably been bored. Because she really is the only interesting and engaging thing about it. But she was just so good that I did end up enjoying it as I watched it. But when the credits rolled and I started thinking more about it, it came up sort of short. As a whole, it didn't leave much of an impression on me. Which is a shame because, as I said, I can't honestly pinpoint any real issues with it. It's well shot, it's well written, the combat sequences are really intense, it's well acted. I mean, if I wanted to nitpick, there are a couple of weakish CGI shots, but that's really it. And I guess it's just one of these movies that didn't really resonate with me the way it should have. And because of that, I can't even say I really liked the movie all that much. It was engaging enough to hold my attention as I watched it, and I liked the main performance, but the more I think about it, the less I like it. As a movie and a piece of entertainment, it just lacked something. And I don't know what. A slightly more personal approach to the story maybe. I know Matthew Heineman has mostly made documentaries before this, and that might be part of the problem, his general approach to filmmaking. Who knows, but I didn't end up loving this thing. But would I recommend it? You could do worse, I guess. It's definitely not a terrible movie, so maybe check it out, maybe don't. I'm not your dad. But I'm trying to sell out, so consider liking, subscribing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need that tricked out military jeep. And hey, why don't you check out another one of my videos? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.